Welcome everyone to another installation of Wisconsin Wisdom. I'm Sam Leary, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Dan Brosman, the Center Director for the Small Business Development Center and the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at UW-Oshkosh. So for those that don't know, just to say a little bit about Dan's journey, his professional journey began at UWO, where he earned both his BBA and MBA. Leveraging his education, he co-founded a successful ed tech startup, which was acquired in 2021. And then soon thereafter, Dan took on the role of director for the SBDC and executive director for the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at UWO. So he's played an instrumental role in supporting the startup and development of innumerable businesses, ultimately leading to the creation of hundreds of jobs, helping businesses secure millions in funding. Beyond that, though, his directorial responsibilities extend to a number of different avenues. Dan actively participates in several entrepreneurial support organizations across the region. He's a member of the New Launch Alliance. He serves on the board of Ignite. He co-founded the Fox Connection and sits on the board of Propel Oshkosh. So each of these roles, in my mind, highlights his commitment to fostering a vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem across our region. So beyond that, though, as if he wasn't busy enough, he also owns the Oshkosh Pedal Trolley, a pedal-powered party bike venture in downtown Oshkosh that exemplifies, the priority he puts on supporting local businesses in innovative ways. So join me in welcoming Dan Brosman, visionary leader whose extensive contributions to entrepreneurship and small business development continue to shape and invigorate the economic landscape of Northeast Wisconsin. Dan, I know that was a mouthful, but and I'm sure there's something that I left out, but is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you, Sam. That was spot on. I'm excited to be here and engaging and talking about this very important topic today.
Awesome. Yeah. And I'm excited to have you too. So I'll get right into it. The first thing I want to start out by talking about is, I think in many ways, when we're talking about artificial intelligence, in many ways, the pandemic sort of accelerated the adoption of AI. And now in 2023, we're living in a world where some form of AI impacts basically everything we do throughout the day. And I think large companies and organizations are spearheading this sort of adoption and advancements in technology. And then soon thereafter, it's kind of small businesses follow suit. So with that in mind, I'm curious how you're seeing small businesses and entrepreneurs in the Greater Oshkosh area integrating AI and emerging technologies into their operations, and what significant changes have you specifically observed in their business models and their strategies as a result?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Many of the small businesses that are interested in AI or even adopting some use of it are still working on understanding kind of the inner workings outside of, say, ChatGPT. Much of
Right.
AI almost like a foreign concept to many, although many are really intrigued by the capabilities of AI and where it's going to next as it's rapidly evolving. The small businesses that I work with are using it primarily for automation efforts, creating some efficiencies within their business to free up time so they can productively use their time in different areas of the business. They are using software or platforms in their daily work that are now being equipped with AI tools and feature sets right in the platforms. So as a trickle-down effect, those business owners are now automatically using AI features and tools to support their business and overall efficiency and productivity of their business and their operation. I've seen AI used a lot in marketing. A lot of these businesses are ran by one business owner. They're wearing all the hats in the business, and if marketing is not their forte, they will use it to help with, say, writing product descriptions or helping to write posts. Again, most commonly using ChatGPT-like platforms or platforms that have AI features integrated into it. AI has been used to help with making pricing suggestions or optimizing pricing, enhancing customer interactions and engagement through more personalized experiences, overall automation of repetitive tasks, which then reduces errors and creates a little bit more of a kind of an accurate side to what they're doing and the work they're doing, while allowing them to focus their time in other efforts. I've seen just recently, I read an article this morning actually of a winery in Northeast Wisconsin that has decided to adopt AI into helping to come up with suggestions for new wines that they're planning to create, and in which they are going to collect customer feedback that's being submitted into Google reviews or into other review platforms, and potentially other ways of sourcing that information, and then feed that into some sort of AI tool to help with putting together different wine flavors and recipes. So I thought that was interesting, as you know, we know that AI has so many different capabilities and they can impact every industry. So that's just a, one use case of how AI is really making an impact.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I think, you kind of touched on a sort of, imagining it as a business cross-organizational impacts that AI is able to have, be it, customer experience related, something that's marketing related, trying to eliminate redundancies or repetitive tasks. Love the winery example that you tossed in there. I imagine that's a more creative use case, but something that is still kind of Wisconsin coded. Nevertheless, I love the idea that AI is kind of dreaming up the next generation of beverages for us over here. Awesome. So I guess to kind of build on that, something I wanted to highlight was, thinking about sort of a giant that's local to Oshkosh. Dr. Michael Shu, the chief data scientist at Oshkosh Engineering, recently noted that they're using AI integrations in vehicles to yield a 2 to 3 times improvement in their required maintenance intervals, which for them translates to more than a 50% reduction in downtime and support costs over the life of a vehicle that's coming out of Oshkosh Corporation. So again, that's an example of a massive Oshkosh-based company, how they're leveraging these technologies to drive business transformation. But again, focusing on smaller businesses, kind of building on what you said previously, in what ways have you seen AI and these emerging technologies influence sort of the wider local economy and job market in Oshkosh, particularly in terms of job creation or workforce skills requirements, and then like the competitive landscape for small businesses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think AI can help to bridge the skills gap, first and foremost, and help with bringing in candidates or employees that can tap in and leverage AI platforms and tool sets that can, maybe do not have to have a specialized skill set behind, in which they can then, level that's the skills across the board for new employees joining. There's also learning platforms that offer personalized training, in which companies have adopted to help with some professional development and onboarding employees in a quicker manner that's also effective and responsive to their needs. We hear about upskilling opportunities and helping out those that are in the workforce to move into potentially other positions or other areas of the business through personalized training again and learning that helps to upskill them and have them equipped with the correct capabilities and skill sets and knowledge to be able to perform those jobs. From an applicant perspective, I've seen people who have used AI tools to help with, simple tasks such as helping to refine a resume or even write the resume and with interview preparation. So there are many kind of niche tool sets that are being created with AI as that kind of that back end. With small businesses who are able to fuse AI into their operations, they can clearly gain some competitive advantages if they can do it properly and successfully. And that then allows them to be more productive, more efficient, in which they can compete with their larger competitors, and start to kind of level that field as well, which hasn't been the case in the past. So that greater productivity is due to the just increased automation, more efficiency, and allows them to be able to just expand upon what they're currently doing and potentially create more more roles within their company without having to actually hire someone physically to be able to do those roles. They can do that with the use of AI, virtual assistants, or other tools that can kind of expand that outward and create those more competitive advantages for them.
Yeah, I think that totally rings true. And particularly the point that you made about sort of using AI as a tool to level the playing field and maybe bridge the gap between some of the the larger players in the space who so oftentimes drive the market and the smaller players who are just trying to figure out how to get things started for their business, I think is increasingly important, especially as we look toward the future. And I want to highlight a quick point. So when asked what the future looks like, the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development Secretary Amy Pahacek said that the time is now, basically, for small businesses to adopt this technology, even going as far as to say that we're in the midst of a fourth industrial revolution. So in the context of that, this bold claim, zooming in on the Greater Oshkosh region, which I'm sure you know better than I do, has historically played an incredibly important role in driving Wisconsin's economic growth. I'm wondering, looking forward, what sort of emerging trends in AI and technology do you foresee having the greatest impact on small businesses and entrepreneurs in Oshkosh? I know we've highlighted a couple of different opportunities, but specifically having the opportunity to most effectively impact small businesses and entrepreneurs in Oshkosh.
Yeah, I think what comes to mind right away is using AI to improve and enhance the customer experience and even the sales approach for businesses. And there are many tools that exist now that businesses can leverage, such as chatbots, virtual assistants, and other kind of personalized methods. And it's helping them to understand how that can benefit and impact their business, and guidance on how to adopt it correctly to be used successfully. There are many businesses that have taken this upon themselves and have seen many great results from it. But I think there is so much more to come from that side of creating a more personalized customer experience and just engagement process. Also optimizing their marketing strategies so they can receive better support or outcomes with running effective marketing campaigns, targeting specific customer segments a little bit more accurately, and so on and so forth. And then within other basic kind of functional areas of their business, AI integration for help with analyzing their finances and creating some informed decisions around how do they become more effective with their cash flow or optimize costs, or modify their pricing to support better margins. And then with HR and human resources, how do we improve our capabilities to support our business, whether it's seeking out more demand or seeking out more support to help fulfill the demand, or analyze our current workforce and provide some data-driven insights that can help us understand the market and how to better attract employees into our organization. So really, I think marketing first and foremost for many of the small businesses we're working with, but there is just so much across the field that businesses can start to leverage and tap into, especially in this coming year. It's rapidly evolving.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Again, I love the kind of, I've heard something similar, marketing kind of having a priority, then obviously sales. But I loved what you mentioned about, using this technology to sort of analyze financial data that business owners might have. In a previous conversation, it was mentioned that one of the benefits of AI technology is it can help us make sense of the data that we as small business owners do have and tell us what it means and help us make predictions based upon it. So I think it's super important to highlight that, as well as the HR use case, some things that folks might not necessarily immediately think about, but are relevant nevertheless. So thanks for sharing that. Ultimately, that's everything I have for you. But Dan, before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to share with business leaders, either in Oshkosh or across the state of Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of sum up, I agree with the comments you mentioned before, that the secretary commented on. It's really, now is the time to embrace it. I mentioned just previously, AI is only going to evolve, and it's gonna get better and better. So it's not going away. You got to embrace it, use it to your advantage, leverage it to help you and others around you, um, and just kind of hang on for the ride.
Hang on for the ride. Yeah, I love that. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, Dan. I really appreciate you being here, making time for communicating this information to small businesses across the state. So thanks so much for the work that you do. And thanks again for being here today.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.